looking at our results in 2016, 2017, we didn't grow as much as we would have liked. So it was a matter of, okay, so let's look at the data and determine where the gaps are, what's happening. So fortunately, I've been blessed with a principal coach. So I actually went to Suda, who's my principal coach, and said, Suda, I need some guidance here, because in my heart, these kids deserve an opportunity to grow. And I want to be able to provide that, and so does my staff. So we sat down and looked in, and Suda led me in the direction of developing student and teacher behaviors. And she said, what we need to focus on is the behaviors. Not necessarily let's focus on strategy, but let's look at what's happening with the kids and what's happening with the teachers. So that was very wise. And so I kind of latched on to that and thought, okay, so how can I take this back to the staff and develop that vision? So we did. So we started out with Heather Regalado, which again is another one of my wonderful principal peers. I talked a little bit about her to her as well, and she gave me the idea to start with what we called like the donut circle, right? So I went to the staff and said, okay, so let's begin by looking at all the things why we believe our students aren't growing and why they're not achieving. And so as they were telling me everything, I was charting on this big circle. And so when we were done, and it was great because the teachers had an opportunity to get it all out. And so then I said, okay, that's great. They're not achieving. We believe these are the reasons why. So now what can we control? What's within our power, right? So as they started talking about it, I would start erasing the things. And then eventually we came up with what we can do. So from there, the district sent me through the Zweiback. So Zweiback training was just fabulous. So from there, we kind of went through a discussion method model. And so I then took the data, all the data, we looked at our diagnostics, we look at our reclassifications, we looked at the casts, we looked at all the data that we had. And so basically it was kind of like looking at it, so this is what it is, right? So now what does your gut say? So I call it the what gut, so what, and now what. And so the staff, we did that, plus we also took it to our school site council, and they looked at the data, and we got the same feedback from them. So then we brought it all back, and from there it was really good conversation. Then from there we moved on and we did the workshop method. And the workshop method actually allowed us as a staff to determine the student-teacher behaviors and the foci. So we went through and saw these different things, and then the teachers named those things, right, which became our foci. And then from there, they started talking about the behaviors that would support that foci. And it wasn't an addition to, it was what are we already doing, right, to support that foci. So it kind of alleviated the teachers to kind of breathe and go, oh, okay, we're not doing anything more. From there, we voted on the behaviors as a staff. And that's how we came up with when we go into the classrooms or when the teachers are looking. So all of us all are on the same language. So when we walk in, this is what the students should be doing. This is what the teachers should be doing. And then from there, we took it one step further and then asked the staff, so what strategies are you already using that would support those behaviors? And so we came up, and we'll talk a little bit about later. So these are our behavior. This is the form that we came up with. And so we use these, and we're all talking the same language. So that was actually kind of the process. And we do believe that a lot of our growth had to do with all of us speaking the same language and focusing on the behaviors.
And the instructional foci, just to clarify for us, was high leverage writing and academic discourse and inquiry.